Hi friends, Amanda here from Fun Hands-On Learning, and today I'm going to show you the hands-on activities that we have done for first grade for the first 2 weeks of school. So this is where I keep our hands-on activities. In these drawers I have them labeled by the child's name, and then I have a drawer for reading and phonics activities, and then a drawer for math activities for each student. And I'm just going to take out the ones for first grade for this video, and I'll show you the ones for kindergarten in a separate video. So I figured I'd better film this video because it is time for me to change out these activities, because we're going to get started on a whole nother 2-week session. So it usually takes us about 2 to 3 weeks to get through all of the activities that I set up. We've been through 3 weeks of school actually, because we kind of started out slowly. And so now it is time for me to change out these activities. These 2 green bins that I have here are for my son Peter, and then these 2 are for my other son Seth. And they are both doing first grade this year. Peter is 6, and then Seth is a little bit older, but he has special needs. So they are going to be doing first grade together. All right, so first thing that I have here on top, I'm going to show you the literacy activities that I have first. So these are all the phonics and reading type activities. The first thing that I have for both of them are their spelling practice word folders. And so basically I change out the words that are in here each week, but these will stay in their activity bins because they work on these. They just take out a spelling word, they place it on the mat in the folder, and then they spell out that spelling word with their magnetic letters. I have this really nice set of magnetic letters from Game Note. You can get these on Amazon, and this company actually sent me these a while back because I did a video reviewing these magnetic letters. I love them. They're the foam magnetic letters, and if I remember, I'll try to link that video below. This company sent me a whole handful of different hands-on learning materials that I reviewed, and I still love using these. And so basically what the kids did is they put their spelling word there, and then they just spell it out with the magnetic letters. And then the last thing that they did is they take a dry erase marker, which I have here, and they write it. I really like these dry erase markers. These are the Expo Click dry erase markers. And then if you see here on the bottom, there's a space for the child to write the word. So they really enjoy doing this, and then I just change it every week. So they keep doing it every week. So this I will not take out of their activity bins because they will continue to do this. We'll just update the word list. So there's that. And there was one here for each of my boys that are doing first grade. By the way, you can get these in a download off my website. I'll leave a link below, and you can edit them and make your own word lists for your students. So in any of the activities that you see here today, most of it you can get off my website because I write my own curriculum. And I will, of course, leave all the links in the description box below for you to check out. All right, let's go on. Okay, I'm going to start taking some things out of Peter's literacy bin. And the first thing I have here, I did start out the year with some back to school learning activities, and so this is on my website. It's back to school literacy activity, and it's doing short vowel words. So they have to find the missing letter. So for example, this says cat, so the missing letter is a, the A. This says pin, the missing letter is I. And this says bed, the missing letter is B. And all of the letters are just different food items that you would find in your lunchbox for school. Isn't that cute? So there was a whole bunch of those that he did. And you can see he just kind of kept them on the right card after he did it. activity was quite easy for him. He's 6, but he's kind of advanced for 6. But I wanted to start out the school year easy, so we could ease into things. But this would be a great activity too, like towards the end of kindergarten, because he was doing this kind of thing towards the end of kindergarten last year. I wanted to start the school year with a lot of review, so that's what I did there. This activity is a word work activity that also works on spelling words. So if you are looking for activities that help your students practice their spelling words in a hands-on way, or maybe their sight words, I have a whole bundle of word work activities like this. This is just one of them. This is one of my favorites. And what they do is they write their spelling word. So it's basically, this one is burger and fries, and all the other activities, there's different ones. So there's like, I can't even think right now, but they're really cute. This one is burger and fries, and what you do is they write their spelling word on the burger. So let's see, one of his spelling words is hid. So he would write H-I-D, hid, on a burger. And then he would take a fry container, okay, and he would build the word hid with his little French fries here. Okay, so I got the word hid, and I would build it with my French fries, just like that. Isn't that cute? And then he would take another one, so he could put that off to the side, or he could actually put the French fries back together, and then grab a new one, write a new spelling word, and build it in the next French fry case. So super cute. All right, this activity was real or nonsense words. By the way, I keep all of my activities in these, most of them anyways, in these plastic bags. And my activities, when you purchase them, come with an activity card like this that has the directions on it, and you can, I print mine off on label paper, and then I just stick them onto the bag, but you can print it on regular paper and then just put the piece of paper in the bag if you want, but that way you have the directions with you at all times. So for this one, the students would take, they would take a card and read the word. If it is a real word, like this says fox, then they would find the fox. Like that. Then they would take the next one, Ms. If that's not a real word, they would put that off to the side and take another one. Van, that's a real word, so we're going to find the picture for van. And a lot of times I like to put these pictures in pocket charts so that the students aren't having to sift through all of the pictures. It's right there in a pocket chart in front of them. Or better yet, have the students put them in a pocket chart while you're working with another student. So a lot of times I'll do that. Like I'll say, okay, Peter, you're going to need all of these pictures for this activity. So here's your pocket chart. Put all the pictures in the pocket chart while I get Danny going, and then I'll work with Danny and work on what he's doing, or work with Seth, or work with Paul. And if you're in a classroom setting, you know, you can leave these at a center and obviously have the students do it that way, and you can leave a pocket chart there and they can put all of the pieces into a pocket chart before they get started. That can be one of their directions. But anyway, so this activity just has real words and fake words, and they just have to sort through, read them all, and if it's a real word, they have to match up the picture. What I had in his bin is one of the Flip It books from my Phonics for Reading curriculum. I use this curriculum with all of my children, and it really does help them learn to read. So this is from the unit on short vowels, and this is book 4. It's the word family match book, and he just goes through, he reads the word family, and then he circles the word that matches the picture. So here he circled pin, and here was path, and so on. And then you can, if you're working one-on-one with your child, you can have them read them to you. Or if you're working in a small group, you can have the children go around and read the whole word family. So it gets a lot of reading practice in as well. Okay, this one is one that we like to do, and this is a free download on my website. I'll leave a link below where you can get it. And these are just CVC word puzzles. So working on short vowel words, just starting out the school year, very easy. And basically what they do is they have to find the three puzzle pieces that go together to form the word, and then they have to read the word. So for a student who is just learning how to sound out a word, they could do each phoneme separately. So they could do b, e, d, and then you can show them just like the picture is put together. Now we're going to slide the sounds together and make it into a word. Bed. Have them hold out those sounds and then say the whole word. Bed. And then they can just keep going with the different puzzles, putting them together and making words. Sun. Sun. Next activity I had in there was phonics activity cards that look like this. And I have an entire phonics activity card bundle on my website. I will leave, obviously, links below. This is one of the activities in that bundle. And what the children do is they just either circle, clip, or cover up the correct word. A lot of times for this kind of activity, I like to use these pom-poms. These are just little pom-poms with magnets on the back of them. I attached it with hot glue a long time ago, and the magnets make it stay flat, and also they can be used on a magnetic surface, obviously, like a cookie sheet. Alright, so for this one, he just covered up cob. And this one, you would cover up jug. So basically, they just have to read the correct word and cover up. This one would be wig, and so on. Oh, I just found another one of those word work activities that you use with spelling words that I had in there. So just like the French fry one that I showed you, I was telling you I had more of them. This one is a fall themed one. I'm not gonna like show you the whole thing because I showed you the fry one. But this one, you write the word on these little squirrels, and then you build the word with the acorns in the basket. Super cute, right? So this is another one that you could do with sight words or spelling words, whatever you're working on. So he had that. And then he also had school vocabulary puzzles. These are fun. I took these out because it was the beginning of the school year, and basically it's just school word vocabulary. So you would put the three pictures together, just like we were doing with the short vowel words, except for you would match up vocabulary. This is a globe. So he would put that together, and then he would have to find the word globe, match it up. So he's working on vocabulary. Okay? So there's lots of different ones in here. We've got glue, pencil, desk, apple, just all sorts of words that you would use at the beginning of the school year. You know, school type words. Okay, and the last activity that he had in his literacy box was this back to school blend match activity. And he's matching these pencils with the pictures on them to these cards with the blends. So for example, spider, the beginning blend would be SP, so he would match that up. Spider. Okay, get the idea. This one is blocks, so it would be a BL blend. Blocks. Okay, so for my other son who is doing first grade, his are a little bit easier, and his were doing, I have these consonant vowel clip cards, which are kind of fun. So again, you can use some manipulatives to cover up your answers. So this one would be sa for sock. This is ja for jug, and so on. And this is la for lock. A fall activity here. This is alphabet clip cards for fall. Kind of the same thing is the last one where it's clip cards. But for this, since it's a fall activity, I used fall manipulatives. I have these cute little fall pieces. There's like leaves and scarecrows and things like that. And so he can use those to cover up his answer. So what we did is he would look and he was just doing beginning sounds. So this is a crow, and then he would cover up the beginning letter. Apple, cover up that beginning letter. Scarecrow, and so on. Get the idea? And it was just all fall pictures and doing fall beginning sounds. Okay, he also had one of those word work activities in his bin. His was cookies and cookie jars. So you can see there's a third one of the word work activities. Okay, the next thing that he has in his bin was roll, read, and cover. I print out these sheets, but I don't laminate them. I have these reusable plastic sleeves, and I just put them in here. And basically what he was doing is he was reading short vowel words, and these are all like different word families. So this is the at word family. We have the an, ig, you know, all the short vowel word families. And it has, you know, short O word families, short U word families, short E word families, and so on. Okay, so he would take one, and of course I have the directions here because it tells you choose one of the mats, roll a die, read the word, and then cover up the matching picture. Then you continue until they're all done. So he's practicing reading these this word family here. I have this dice jar from Joycat. It's the same company that I showed you made those magnetic letters, and you can get them off Amazon. And basically he's just gonna roll a die. So got 6, and then he would read that word. So 6 says cat, and then he would cover up a cat. He roll again. I got 5, so I'm gonna read rat and cover up rat. And he would just continue until he finished the whole mat. And of course, if there's time, then we would do more of them and practice different ones. You can practice them on different days as well, so you don't have to do them all at once. Okay, the next activity that he had in his bin is so cute. It's made to go in a sensory bin, but I'm just gonna show you it without putting it in a sensory bin since I don't have my bin out right now. Basically, there's 2 different mats, and I'm gonna put them in this plastic sleeve. And what he's doing is he's matching consonant and vowels. So these are the cards, and this has a pirate theme, obviously, you can see. And so what you would do is you would take these and you would stick these cards into a sensory bin so that they're all standing up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them, you know, I'm going to take out my Play-Doh and I'm going to put them in Play-Doh, and you can use Play-Doh to actually stand up your sticks. You put a little bit of Play-Doh on the bottom and they'll stand up, okay, just like that. So basically what you do is you can have them, if you don't want to have them do it in a sensory bin, you can have them put a little bit of Play-Doh on the end of their stick. So they choose a stick, they have to read it, be. Put a little bit of Play-Doh on the bottom, and then they find the picture on the mat here that begins with be. I see a bed, so I'm going to stick this right on that picture. Does that make sense? Okay, so the next one says saw. I look at my pictures, I'm going to match that up with sun. So then you can stand it up, sa for sun, and so on. Then he would just keep going. He'd grab another one. This one is fa for fox. And you just keep going until they have matched all the ones on the mat. And then when they're done, you can flip it over and do the other side. All right, the next thing he had in his bin are these word slides. Love these. And basically it's just reading. You're practicing reading short vowel word families. So we have den, hen, men, and you just slide it. 10, pen. And they're all like that. You just slide them and read. Can you notice a theme I have We practiced a lot with word families and with short vowels these first 2 weeks of school. Actually, it's been 3 weeks. So, yep, there's those. These are fun. Okay, next, this is an activity that I made years ago, and basically you do roll and read. So you need dice for this one, and you roll the die, and then you have to read that row. So this says 3, so I would read the row for 3. Wah, wah, wi, wah, wah. And if you finish, you get to that, for this one, it's fish, so you get to that fish. And sometimes I would let them cover up so they know that they read that one. And then they go on until they've covered up all the fish. And then there's also maths. These are all blends, and then there's ones for like just beginning sounds. So for this one, I rolled a 1, so I would read b, k, a, d. And then I got the cat. This one is pets. So I'd cover up cat, keep going until I get all the pets. And then there's also short vowel words. So you'd roll and read short vowel words. There's that one and this one. And I know I have another set that's like reading long vowel words and other kind of phonics words. But I didn't put that in his bin. Okay, this activity is a fall activity. And this is the last thing that I have in his literacy bin. And this is so cute. I made this in 2022, it says. And I just think this is so adorable, and I love when it's fall and I can take this out. And I have so far always had a student that could use it, but one of these days all my kids are going to be past it, and I'm going to be sad, and then I'm going to have to send it to somebody else. But basically, you're working on your short vowels, and so these are the short vowel trees. Okay, I've got all 5 of our vowels here, A, E, I, O, U. And you basically put all of your vowels out, your vowel trees out. Okay, this is your vowel tree forest. And then you give the children the apples, and they have to match up the apples to the correct tree. So egg would go on the E tree, and inchworm would go on the I tree, and so on. Iguana would go with I. Under, owl, elbow, alligator, and you get the idea. And they just basically are going to sort their apples onto their apple trees, and I just love this activity. I think it's so, so adorable. So anyways, they would sort all of them and make their little apple tree garden here. So cute. All right, let's quickly go through the math activities. I'll go through the math activities I have for the first son and then the second son. All right, so we were doing even and odd numbers. So for this activity, this is the even and odd shoe store. And I really like this. I made this years and years ago. It says 2018. So I made this in 2018, and basically it is a visual representation for the children on even and odd numbers, because, you know, even numbers make pairs, but odd numbers do not. So this is a visual, and then after he did this, he did a worksheet where he had to, you know, say if the number was even or odd, and he was able to do it very quickly because he was visually able to see that even numbers make pairs and odd numbers do not. All right, so here is the mat, and I'm gonna just move these over here. Okay, so here's the mat. It looks like this. These are the number shoe cards. I just had him put them upside down on the mat like this, and then what he had to do is he had to flip over a card. This card says the number 6, and he had to decide, is the number 6 even or odd? First, he had to grab the shoes. So he had to grab 6 pink shoes, since it's the pink one, and he had to put them in pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then he had to look at the 6 and see, did it make even pairs? Yes. So the number 6 is even, and he would color in the smile with his dry erase marker. Then he would take that card, put it in the back, he'd flip over another one. So now I have the number 9. I'm going to erase this. And now we're going to use the blue shoes, and we're going to count out 9 blue shoes. 7, 8, 9. Did the number 9 make 9 even pairs? No. So the number 9 is odd. And then he would just continue on doing a bunch of different numbers and getting the idea that even numbers you can divide by 2, odd numbers you cannot. All right, the next activity is spin and cover teen numbers. This comes from my Early Learners Math curriculum, the unit on teen numbers. And basically he just had to spin, and so it landed on 15. He had to find a square that had 15 and cover up that square. Here's 5, 10, 15, so I would cover up that square. And you just keep on spinning until he covered them all up. There's a couple different mats here, a couple different spin and cover mats that he did. And I get these spinners, I've gotten these off Amazon before. They're just game spinners, fairly cheap. You could also just use a pencil and a paper clip and have them hold the pencil and then spin the paper clip. This was a fall activity. This is making patterns. I've had this activity for the longest time. I have a whole bundle of activities just for fall on my website. Again, I'll try to leave links below to this stuff. Basically, they just matched it up. So we have apple, acorn, pie, apple. The next one would be the acorn. Oh, there we go. And you would just put it on your card and then go on to another pattern. So we have acorn, pumpkin, scarecrow, acorn. Next one would be pumpkin. They're not all ABC patterns. Let's see. This one is AAB pattern. So AA. So scarecrow, scarecrow. And you can have them try to continue the pattern too after they do it. But this one is a ABB pattern. So you got ABB, A, B. So it would be squirrel, leaf, leaf, squirrel, leaf, leaf, and so on. So there's different types of patterns. I think there's A, B as well. Yeah, this one's A, B, A, and then the leaf would be B. So anyways, so there's those. Next, we have football count and match, numbers to 100. This is also from my Early Learners Math curriculum. And this one, the students are practicing whole numbers to 100. And they have to match up. There's different ways they need to count. They need to be able to count by tally marks or by these dominoes, okay? So basically, they just count it out. So for this one, they would take a card. Here's their football numbers. You can put these numbers in a pocket chart like I said before, which would make it easier. But then they would count it out. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 53. Then they'd have to find 53 and match it up on their football card. Like that. And some of them, they're going to use the dominoes. So this one would be 10, 20, 30, 44. And match it up. Okay, the last activity that I had in his particular bin was this numbers to 120, and this is a back to school activity. And basically, they would count either by ones, tens, fives, or twos. So let me just show you. Here's the packet where they would count by ones. And so they just basically have to find the missing number. And these numbers are supposed to be like stickers because this is a back to school activity. So these are back to school papers and things. And then you're pretending like you're putting the sticker on with these stars. So we have 88, 89. If we're counting by ones, then the next number would be 90. 91, the next number would be 92. Oh, I found 94. again, putting these in a pocket chart would be a good idea. So there you go. You have 80. You have all the missing numbers on this one. Then they could go on to the next one. So these cards are just counting by ones, and you're finding the missing numbers by counting by ones. But my son knows how to count by 10s and 5s really good, and he is practicing counting by 2s, which he's actually gotten really good with that too. So you could do, if you wanted them to practice counting by 10s, you could do this one. So you'd be 30, 40, 50, 60, finding the missing numbers, 55, but then he just specifically worked on counting by 2s. So we took this one out, and he was fairly good at it. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and so on, and he found the right ones and put them in for counting by 2s. Okay, we're almost done. I'm just going to show you the activities that I have in my other son's bin for math. So the first one that I had here was he was just counting to 20, and this is really cute. It's just gumballs, and they just count how many and they match it up. So for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then they would find the card that has 18 and place it on just like that. And they would move on and try another one. Okay, this activity is from my Early Learners Math curriculum, and this is just counting simple to 10. But I wanted him to do it because I wanted him to be able to match up the 10 frames. So when he saw 2 on the pizza, I wanted him to be able to match up the 10 frame with 2. Because if he can easily see the amount on a 10 frame, it'll help him as we get into bigger numbers. So here's 3 pepperonis, so he would cover up 3. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pepperonis, so I'm going to cover up the one with 6. And your kids might like doing that with Play-Doh as well. If the cards are laminated, they can just take the Play-Doh right off, no big deal. All right, this next activity are place value matching mats. They look like this. They're all kind of different. And basically they're counting a certain amount of numbers. Some of them they're only counting to 10, and some of them are counting bigger numbers, like from 11 to 20. This mat counts from 11 to 20, and what you want to have when you're using these mats is you need magnetic numbers, or what I used was this puzzle, because you can take the pieces out and they can use the puzzle numbers. So that's what I used, and basically they had to count and match. So there are 10 in each one of these baskets, and then they counted the extra. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? 10 and 6 makes 16. Then they had to find the puzzle piece and match it up. So here I have 10 and 2, which is 12. So I'd find the puzzle piece and put it right in there. 10 and 4 is 14, and so on. So he would keep going until he filled up his entire mat. So let's put these pieces back, and then let me just kind of show you what some of the mats look like. So here's this one. They're using 20 frames. So there's those. This one they're counting with tally marks. Oh, you can also just write with the dry erase marker. You can see that we did that at one time. All right, this is school patterns. So my one son did the fall patterns, and this son did the school patterns. Basically the same thing. You just match up, you take a pencil and you match up the paper to finish the pattern. So we have crayon, globe, globe. So we need crayon. Of course, it's the last one I found. All right, we have bell, eraser, clip, bell, we need eraser, and so on. The very last activity I had was actually way too simple and too easy for him, but I'm going to show it to you anyways, because I had it in there and he just like flew through it. But basically it's finding the missing number. For example, 6, 7, what would come next? It would be 8. So he would find the 8 card and place it in there. That one's done. 1, something, 3, what goes in the middle? Well, that would be 2. So you'd find the 2 card, place it there, and that one would be done, and so on. So this took him no time at all. All right, friends, that is it for the first grade activities that I had for the first few weeks of school. I am going to take these out, put them away, and refill their bins with new activities for the next few weeks of school. And when I get all of that done and we've been working through those, I'll make a new video so you can see what we did. And as always, happy learning. Bye.